Hi there, everyone. This is Scott Nicholson, and I'm the host of Board Games with Scott. But I've got a message for you today that may be controversial, but it's something that I'd like to share. Now, we're at the season, you know, not the holiday season, but the new board game season, where we gather around in small clusters waiting for drop shipments of Germany of new games to try out. And I was at, there's a lot of events that go on right now, big conventions. The Board Game Geek convention is coming up in a few days. And I was at one of these events, and I had a moment of clarity. One of those times where you look around, sort of say, what's going on here? And thought about things. And what I noticed, so I was in the middle of one new game, and I had another new game sitting there at my side, and I was looking at the rules. And I looked around at the rest of the table, and other players were also either looking at new game rules or looking at the pile of new games over there trying to decide what to pounce on next. And I realized that, you know, I may have a problem here. And I imagine that many of you have this same issue where this new games happen. And I can understand it because what will happen, you only have a few days and there's all these piles of new games that you can try. And when you go away at the end of the convention, you won't have access to those anymore. So I understand what's driving this fever. Because I looked around the room and I noted the same thing. I noticed people just hungrily devouring the piles of new games, walking around the library, looking like a vampire, waiting for something to pounce upon, or working in a pack of people that they came together, traveled as a group, where they would consume and gather resources, gather 4 or 5 new games, take them back to their table, and devour them one right after the other. I understand that. I've been there. I do that. I get it. But I also realize that, you know, it's not only these piles of new games that are everywhere that I only have a few days access to. There's lots and lots of people everywhere that I only have a few days access to. Lots of people that I don't know, people who are also interested in the same hobby, yet I'd see this lack of interest in people wanting to get to know each other. This focus of more of wanting to know what's going on with this cardboard box than what's going on with the living people sitting around the table. So, my requests to you as you head into one of these conventions, a couple of them. One, recognize that this is not only an opportunity to try out new games, but an opportunity to meet lots of different and new people. And I would wager that your enjoyment from meeting people, on average, is going to be better than your enjoyment from a lot of these new games. How many new games you try them and you're just like, but you get a chance to meet lots of new people. So, in order to help you with this, I've got a few suggestions. One, take at least one day of this event and make it your goal in that day to play with as many new people as you can. Now it means that you may not be as efficient as you could be if you sat there with a pile of games, sat with one group, and plowed your way through a whole bunch of games. You would be more efficient at devouring the new game crop that way. But you will not get a chance to have social engagement with all these new people that are out there. So take at least a day of the event. Say, you know, for this day, I know if you came with a group of friends, talk to the friends and agree upon it. Say, I know we came together, but let's take this one day and split up for the day and make it our goal to meet as many new people as we can and play games with as many different groups as we can. And when you sit down to play at a table, make it a tradition as you're doing the game, as you're setting it up, or as you're into the game. Ensure that you provide an opportunity for each person at the table to talk a little bit about themselves. That you think of yourself as a facilitator for this social gaming experience. Because that's what's going on. It's not just about a game. It's about the game and the players and the location where you are. And that creates the gaming experience. And if you decide to take the responsibility to facilitate a social experience, even if the game is a strategic game, then what you can do is help everyone to get to know each other a little bit. Ask people who they are, find out where they're from, what they do, what other sort of games they like, what are their hobbies. Because it may be, you may say, well, why should I do that? Well, you ask these questions. It may be that this is someone that you don't connect with, but these two people may end up connecting with each other. And you're facilitating that experience. And I'd suggest you do that anytime you sit down with people that you don't know, or even if it looks like other people know each other, you could ask and start asking questions. You know, who are you and what are you interested in? Things like that. Because I want you to see these events as an activity, not only as a time to play with these components in these boxes of cardboard, but it is a time to get to know each other. So that's my message. New games are fine, but they're really only boxes with pieces of cardboard, and if you don't get to play them all, you can find the rules online, you can learn about them that way. But the people who are there are really what you should be striving to reach out to, and make this a chance to get to know other folks in the community, and we can all grow and be strengthened in the community as we'll care a little bit more about each other. So that's my message. Now it's time to be stoned by people standing there with a new game saying, "Shut up, Scott, and take your turn!" Take care, and bye-bye.